Hey everybody, welcome to the movies. We're the MerCo movie guys. I'm Clint Schaffer, and this is my good buddy Chad Weeks.
We're a couple guys who like movies and like to talk about movies. Clint, what are we going to watch tonight?
We are actually going to do a 31 movie countdown, and it's all about scary movies on this Halloween special.
Yeah, Halloween's great, isn't it?
Yeah, Halloween is fun.
Honestly, I feel like Halloween is just like the perfect opportunity to just like stay in your house and watch a lot of like scary movies.
Yeah.
The whole month of October should be dedicated to it. That's why we have 31 nights of horror here is what we got going on.
Yeah, exactly. We should have probably done this on October 1st.
We should have, but we've been slow.
Y'all got to binge now. That's what's going to have to happen. Now you got to pack all these in there. So
tomorrow Saturday you could do like 5 in one day. If you
yeah, but I won't get this edited and posted by then. So it's going to be like Monday of the earliest.
Touche.
All right. Well, with that, grab your popcorn,
fill up your drinks,
and enjoy the show. Hey, welcome back, all you film fans, and we are ready to kick into the 31 days of horror, and
Nights of horror. We don't want to watch a scary movie in the day.
That's probably a good point. I mean, I want to watch scary movies during the day because I'm kind of a chicken.
Yeah, honestly, you're like the worst person or the best person to watch a scary movie with because you are such an overreactor to everything that happens.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I do like to overreact. I like to jump a lot. I probably maybe even let out a few screams.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. You would be the Jim Carrey of our podcast here.
Hey, all right. That's a
lot worse things you could be called.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Absolutely.
All right, so I have this list, and this list, for everybody out there, we're holding this giant sheet of paper here, but this was actually created by the one and only Mr. Chad J. Weeks over here.
Yeah, so when I created this list, the big decision that I had to make was how do you compile a list of. Because I wanted it again 31 nights, so you want to have one for every day of October. And the big thing that I wanted to decide was how do you decide what movies you want to put on this list. So like you go with classics, like those instant classics that you can have Nosferatu and all that stuff, or do you want to have movies that are just strictly new movies or anything like that? I went with something that was kind of a little bit of both. Just movies that I want to watch, movies that I really like, and also movies that are readily accessible. I've tried to make them as accessible as possible so you can stream them right now. Because if I give you a recommendation to watch a movie and it's not on any streaming service right now, the chances of you watching it go down significantly. So I try and make it relatable.
I mean, you can always just wander down to your local Blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly. All the way out in Ohio, I think. Not Ohio.
No, it's like Oregon or something, right?
Yeah,
like
the other way.
The last
the other
one.
way, yeah.
So with this, we'll probably talk about other movies that even aren't on this list. But this was actually you typed all of this up. I mean, it's a great article for y'all to go read. You should visit his blog post. What's the site?
Yep, maybe I'm wrong. Blog.
There you go, spelled all out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. .blog, which you probably are wrong because we found that out quite a few times on this show already.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, I know. Can we put it up here if I'm right on this one again?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just want at least the second time that we can put you right.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
There you go. Any other time that he's right, I just edit it out. Yeah. So it's pretty fun. All right, so let's just kick right into this. I mean, are we starting with this lineup, right?
Absolutely. Let's just do it top to bottom.
Okay, so number one on the list, I think possibly is the scariest movie on this list.
In my opinion, this is the best movie. The best horror movie, top to bottom, of all time, and the only one that I can think of as close is the Blair Witch Project. But this is The Descent.
The Descent.
The Descent.
Best scary movie of all time.
Of all time.
Ooh.
Like I just think it has to be. And if you haven't seen The Descent, it's one you should definitely watch. Okay, so it's about a group of friends that go out, they're dealing with some family, or not some family troubles.
They're going spelunking.
Yes, they're going spelunking.
For those of you that are not familiar with the term spelunking, that is cave exploring.
Yeah, but thanks to South Park, I had to learn that one at an early age, like what exactly spelunking was. Yeah. But it's a group. There's some other underlying factors that they kind of flesh out as they go on. It starts because of a tragic incident that happened to one of the friends. Then they all decide to go on this trip a year later and try and bond. Basically, it's something they basically do all the time. They're adrenaline junkies, basically this group of women, and they decide to go into this cave, and it just turns out absolutely horrible.
A really fun twist on the cave that they choose too. I mean, like there was like this whole plan to go to this certain cave, and then how it all kind of plays out is actually I thought it was a clever way to kind of get us into that movie.
Absolutely. And a cave, like you and I talking before, a cave in itself is just scary. Like there's you can't see anything.
I actually had a hard time. I just tried to watch this here literally like, I don't know, probably a week or two ago. And I had a hard time getting past like the very beginning when they get into the cave, and the one like super adrenaline junkie, she's got to wiggle through that small hole for like a long ways. And I'm like, I couldn't watch it. Like, and it's not even anything scary.
Yep.
It's just like, I don't know, claustrophobic.
Yeah, when I was a kid, one of my reoccurring nightmares was me trying to fit through. I was crawling through this hole, and it just slowly gets smaller until I couldn't move anymore. And like, yeah. So there's that stuff. There's the darkness. I mean, a cave's just again naturally scary, but then you throw in like some bloodthirsty night creatures, and then it's just a recipe for a fantastic movie.
And then you also have to like think of. We're like exploring caves now, and we got like, LED lights and all these like cool technology, right? Like back in the day, like you go down to like some of these like, different caves to like go walk through, and these explorers were doing this like in the 1800s with candles.
Yeah, exactly. Candles and a canary,
like,
right?
Yeah, like if your candle blows out, you're done for.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy. All right, so The Descent, number 1. So
yeah, I didn't put these in any particular order, but that's just the one that's the best one. That
anytime you type up a list, it's already in an order.
It isn't. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 on the list. Oh, so you can watch Descent on Prime. So the next one, I have not watched this one. I haven't watched a lot of these actually, but this one is The Strangers on Netflix.
Yeah. So The Strangers is. It's basically just an intruder film. So it's a couple. They go out to a party. They come back to their like country home or their summer home or whatever. So it's just or vacation home, I guess you call it, out in the middle of nowhere, and they are just going to have a nice relaxing night at home. And then a group of psychos show up, a group of people that with ill intent.
So really for no reason, like not really targeting anybody.
No. There's one line, like the strangers have very few lines in there, but the ones that they do have are so powerful, and I don't want to give it away, but one of the final lines that they give to this group is just absolutely so powerful. I just love it. I think this movie's great.
I'm gonna say it's Because You Were Home.
Because you're home. Yeah, I guess I did put it in the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
what? Why are you doing this to us?
Because You Were Home.
Yeah, I love that because you don't need any reason. It's just.
Yeah, and that's a creepy.
Yeah, it gives me chills.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, especially like here we are recording this in a 100-and-some-year-old farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right. Exactly right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, Halloween.
Yeah. So yeah,
I didn't realize we were covering comedies.
Yeah.
So
Clint thinks that Halloween, the original Halloween, is a comedy, and it's insulting to say the least.
So here's the thing. I gave this a true blue watch, right? And sat down and I watched it, and I literally found myself probably chuckling more than like being scared, because it's not really a scary movie. It'd be a thriller if anything, right? But like the way that he's hiding behind a bush in the middle of a day, and like he's like just like this like creepy guy, and it's like there's kind of a comic value to it.
Yeah, I agree. I get what you're saying. So, but again, and that movie was like 1978 or something like that. So it's however, on my list actually, which first off, have you seen the new one?
I have not. No, that's like, is that out now?
Well, it came out today, depending on when we release this, but it came out today on Peacock and theaters, which is the sequel to this. I got a hair in my mouth.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, a sequel to the sequel. So like, the order that it would go in is the original Jamie Lee Curtis one from 1978 or whatever it is.
Yep.
Then it would kick into the one that came out in 2019, something like that. which was the sequel to it, where she's an older woman and her kids are.
I remember when that came out.
Yeah. So have you seen that one then?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's actually really, really, really good. So it's a great movie, and her whole family ostracizes her because she's, crazy and been talking about the boogeyman her whole life, and I mean he's a real thing. They've got him in anyway. Well, this is after the ending of the last one where they think they killed him. Well, they didn't, because he's back for another sequel, and it looks really good. I haven't seen it yet.
Apparently, they tried to burn him in a house.
Yes, that's how they did. Yeah,
I seen that on the trailer.
She
of
had
this
her whole,
one so.
Because she's been preparing for this her whole life. She's had it all set up. But
so I actually have a couple questions about Halloween.
Okay, all right.
That I would like to, since we're talking about this.
Okay.
So we talk about who is this? Michael Myers, right? And I it's probably the same thing with Jason probably falls in this category too. But can he be killed, and is he like something that is supernatural?
So I think they cover this in the new one. I haven't seen it, but from the trailer they talk about it. They say he is, no man could survive all of the things that have happened, and he is clearly something supernatural. And
like
the more he
demonic man or
correct.
something.
The more he kills, the stronger he gets, and they say that in the trailer.
Okay.
So I'm not giving away anything by that one. And I think they're going to play into that in this new movie that came.
Well, and that's what I always struggle with, because it's like if Jamie Lee Curtis is now older in this one, right? Then
he should be too.
Yeah, which that means that he can't be like
exactly.
as powerful as what he used to be, right?
He's chasing her around with a cane.
Unless he's Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. Unless he's Tom Brady, yes.
We never know. That guy doesn't age. So,
yeah. But on the subject of the Halloween, the one that I wrote about was actually the Rob Zombie version, because I really, really like the Rob Zombie reboot, which is kind of like a prequel where they talk about how he became Michael Myers and what caused him to do such a thing, and so on and so forth. And he shows up torturing animals and but it's a very good very, very good take on it.
What was the Macaulay Culkin movie where he killed
Alone.
No, where he killed a dog or something with a bolt gun?
Oh,
you remember that?
Yeah. Oh man, it's the good stepson or something like that. Where
the good son or
the good son, I think. Yeah, I think it's the good son, because he was like the real son, and the other kid was the stepson. And
you just talked about him torching. That's the movie, because that scene always bothered me that he did that. So
wow, that's a dive. That's probably 90s, early 90s.
Yeah. All right, so next on the list is going to be Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, so Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know about you, but Nightmare on Elm Street was a huge part of my childhood.
I mean, that's if you think of at least folks you and I's age, right? If you think of that, Nightmare on Elm Street is that is the scary movie.
I would agree.
That's the whole thing that was happening through our childhood.
I feel like everybody else kind of pictures Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees as their, a lot of the younger generation, just Chucky. But for me, it's always been Freddy Krueger, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
He is the top tier villain, murder,
but
slasher film guy.
I also feel that is also because our parents probably would not allow us to watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Because
there's some pretty juicy scenes in there.
You would, exactly. So let's talk about that though, because I bet that didn't happen, because I watched this when I was a kid a lot, and I think Freddie even had a TV show that was late at night, and Joe and I would stay up and watch it. So there's all that stuff, but I talk about it a little bit in my blog, where my mom and dad, when my daughter was 8 years old, took her to see the new Nightmare, where take her to the theater to see it, and they're like, "Yeah, do you want to go? We're gonna go see Freddie tonight." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna show up at the ticket taker and say, with an 8-year-old in tow." They said that there was 16-year-old kids getting kicked out because they couldn't make it.
But what's funny is I would imagine when you were 12 years old that all you wanted for Halloween was the glove
Oh man.
with the knives on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember that?
Oh, that was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember trying to make one with with literally a glove.
butter knives.
Yeah, literally. Well, my mom made one with tongue depressors, like popsicle sticks.
Oh, yeah.
And like a gardening glove or whatever. So
Yeah,
left hand. Right?
I just feel like that was one of those because I remember wanting that, but it was like, and that was back before.
Yeah.
You know,
They didn't have
do
any.
you remember you had to buy stuff like that specialty stuff? That was a lot of catalogs.
Yeah, see,
Like we didn't have a Halloween store.
No.
I mean, those weren't in existence back then. I remember us getting somebody held me out there. What's the book, the novelties? It's the Harriet Carter, right? Harriet, isn't that, I think?
I have no clue.
Some of y'all out there are going to remember what I'm talking about, but it was
know.
like a catalog of novelties. And
Okay.
like that's where you would find like that kind of stuff at. Or the J.C. Penney Halloween catalog.
I do remember
or
doing
something.
a lot of looking through catalogs and looking at things that I wanted, just whatever it was. The catalogs were a big thing when they showed up.
Do you know what I just got in the mail this week?
No, I don't. I
An
haven't.
Amazon catalog.
Really?
A catalog from Amazon.
Okay.
They're giant catalog for toys.
great.
Yeah, just cracked me up. All right. So how about Freddie versus Jason? Does that fall into like this kind of stuff? When you put Nightmare on Elm Street, is it only the first one or does it cover all these other movies?
So for me, Nightmare on Elm Street, like the first one is probably going to be the highest rated and everybody's going to regard that one the best. But my favorite out of all of them was the Dream Warriors, which is number 3. That's where they create like basically a team of not create a team. They're in a psych ward, a bunch of kids, and or whatever it is. I don't remember exactly what it was. And they decide that it's their dreams, so they can control their dreams and they can be whoever they want. All men are great in their dreams, so they become, these tough, superhero style people in their dreams, and it's like it's a super cool take on it, and I really like that.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was curious about. The another fun fact: Nightmare on Elm Street, I believe the first one is what gave us Johnny Depp.
Yep,
right?
Johnny Depp was
Yeah, that was kind of his first role.
Yep,
right?
he was the main character in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right. Okay, where can that one be watched? HBO Max.
HBO Max.
That's what he said. All right. The Blair Witch Project. You can watch this on Fubo.
Fubo. Like
The heck is Fubo?
I have no clue. I bought a TV from Best Buy and they gave me a 30-day trial of Fubo though, and there is a ton of movies on Fubo.
I thought you literally just picked this TV up today.
I did, but when I bought it, they gave this.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you've had a little bit of a trial here.
yeah.
All right.
Well,
all
I
right.
haven't. Yeah, I haven't even signed up for it yet. But
Gotcha.
Just,
But Blair Witch Project, regardless.
yes, correct. Yeah. Blair Witch Project. So I think the Blair Witch Project is something you should watch in specialty. Like you should take the time. I think The Descent too, because this is probably my number 2 on my list as far as like scariest movies. And a lot of people just really don't like it. But I think that it's something you watch it in the dark, by yourself, or in total silence. Don't talk. Don't look at your phones. Just sit there and enjoy a really terrifying movie.
Well, the funny thing is the Blair Witch Project, again, for you and I, this was more than a scary movie.
Yeah.
Like when this thing came out, first off, this thing was made on like a penny budget.
Yeah,
Right. I mean,
absolutely.
it's like basically a couple camcorders and
Yep.
a little bit of editing, right? But this, if you remember when it came out, the way they promoted this, I want to say it was one of the first ones where they went through the internet, basically, of promoting this.
Yeah.
And they made it feel like we found this footage.
Yeah.
And this is an event that has happened in Pennsylvania or wherever. Yep. And it's like everybody kind of believed at one point in time that like this wasn't
a real
movie.
thing. Yeah, this was a found footage movie. So this was the first one that I know of. I mean, there might have been something else out there, but this is what kicked off the found footage era.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool take.
There's been a ton of movies now that have come out with this kind of
Paranormal Activity is a really popular one, but yeah, I think this one is. I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect movie. I think that it's because it goes all into what you can't see. It's not so much like, it's not a monster that you're scared of. It's what you can't see, and it's the darkness that plays tricks on you, and you hear just a little something. We've all been in a dark place, and you hear something way off in the distance. It's like, what was that?
Well, it's like it's like the ultimate haunted housing.
It
right?
is.
Because
Yeah.
like if I remember right, they're kind of out in the middle of the woods, like
Yep.
coming upon a house or
Yep.
whatever, right?
Yep.
So I mean,
Yep.
it's kind of creepy in
they,
itself.
They get lost, and as they, after a few nights of having scary things happen, you can feel the anticipation building and the fear. Like, I just don't want to spend one more night out here. Like if we don't get to the car, I'm gonna have to spend another night out here. I just can't do it.
Yeah, getting worse and worse.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
exactly. It's like we just can't do it. It's awesome movie.
Okay, next one on the list, Invisible Man.
Yeah, have you seen this one?
Is this a Kevin Bacon one?
No, that's Hollow Man.
Hollow
Man.
Man.
Yeah. That's a great movie too.
So I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon is great. Like, but
Then,
no.
Then no, I don't believe that I've
No, this
seen.
isn't
I've seen this one.
This is an Elizabeth Moss movie. Just came out here recently. I think it was last year, I believe. And it's all about a woman who is trying to escape an abusive relationship, and her husband commits suicide or whatever, we think. And then next thing you know, we've got an invisible man that she believes is her husband.
This just came out.
Yeah, this was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like, when it came, 2020.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie. Because again, it's like it plays, and it's an overplayed scenario where something crazy's happening, and nobody will believe you. Like it happens all the time in scary movies and that sort of thing. But this is a perfect one because he's literally invisible. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, how do you prove that?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, like, and I go back to like even like Hollow Man, right? Where like you think that, people think that a power of invisibility would be cool, unless you can't change back, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like you've just been kind of like wiped off the earth, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
But worth a watch, though.
Oh, it's absolutely worth a watch. It's great. It's one of the best horror movies that's come out in a long time. Like, really good. And again, it's just a real suspenseful thing, and you always wonder at this point, like, is somebody in the room? You never know, because yeah.
All right. Next one, I know this would have made the list just because this is like your favorite author of all time, right? Which is The Mist.
Yep. Stephen King is the best writer of our time, and it's just not even close. Well, there's gonna be plenty of people that are gonna argue with that, but he is. He's fantastic.
He's the Tom Hanks of writing.
He really is.
He's the George Strait of writing.
Absolutely.
He's the Tom Brady of writing.
Yep, absolutely. I love it. Keep it going. But no, he's great. I think the way he relates things in his books is what really gets to me. Like the way he'll describe something, a sound that he hears in the background or whatever, and he'll relate it to something that you hear all the time, and all of a sudden it's like, I know exactly what that sounds like. That's terrifying. I love the way he relates things to it.
So let's go through The Mist, because this is like, it's literally like fog that's coming towards them, right?
So it's a really simple plot. Basically, it's Thomas Jane too, which I got.
Yeah.
He's
the old
the Punisher.
Punisher.
Yep. So Thomas Jane and his kid go to the store. There's and a grocery store basically, and this mist descends upon a town or on the town because of some sort of research facility that's nearby. I don't know what. It doesn't matter. But all of a sudden, this mist is coming up over this grocery store, and now all of a sudden, all these creatures are in it. So it's like you never know what's going to be coming at you, and it's also, again, it's man versus the paranormal, because it's everything that's outside trying to get into this grocery store, and it's terrifying, and you go outside, you're going to die by something you can't see. But then the people, it's man versus person, because of the people inside are slowly turning on each other. And you've got religious zealots, and then you've got it's a very, very cool story. Like, and
this is one I have seen. It's just it's been a while.
Yeah.
Because this had to have been like in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, somewhere on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's one of his. I think it's one of his best transitions from book to movie, and also like the ending on this one is just so wow.
Yeah.
Like that it's amazing.
We just watched a Thomas Jane movie where that was kind of a fun thriller as well that put you on a little bit of a spin. And I'm going to have to look up what the name of it is, but it was on one of the streaming services. But like basically they're in a camper, in an RV, and then they lose their son or their daughter, right? And then it's all about them trying to find their kid, and it just takes you on a really wild ride. And the ending, fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. I can't really go into it because it's really easy to spoil that movie. Yeah. But man, the ending was really fun. So if you see that, Thomas Jane, I don't know, they're in an RV.
Okay,
so
all right.
Look at it.
I like. I love Thomas. Have you seen the Punisher Dirty Laundry?
Is that the short one? Yeah.
That's cool. That's the way the Punisher should have been.
That's the one where because he smacks him with the whiskey bottle.
Yeah, whiskey bottle. Yeah.
Bottle
goes in and buys a bottle of Jack, actually from Ron Perlman, and then just goes out and assaults.
That was really cool.
Super cool.
That's like a 15-minute short film or whatever. Yep. All right. This next one, again, this would be rank as one of the scariest movies growing up.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't even want to say the name because if we say it too many times, it's going to show up. So
Candyman.
Yeah. So Candyman.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
It's two.
How many did you have to do?
5. So we got a little bit of a leeway.
Oh yeah. All right.
But no. So they just released a new one, and it's Jordan Peele released the new one. So I have not
Get Out.
Yep. I have not seen that one yet, but I'm sure it's great because everything Jordan Peele does is great.
How does Jordan Peele go from a comic on Key and Peele, who you would never think has this incredible outlook on these thrillers, and then all of a sudden just rolls into the movie world, bypasses comedy, and he's like, no, I'm gonna make scary movies.
Yep, absolutely.
Or thrillers, and they're amazing.
He's got the keys of the castle now too. If he wanted whatever he wants to make right now, he can make any movie in the world, and they will let him do it because he is fantastic. Yeah, that guy.
I said Get Out was awesome.
Get Out was such a huge step forward in horror, and I probably should have put that one on the list, but I didn't want to go I didn't want to do stuff that was overplayed. I guess I don't know, whatever. But we already have one Jordan Peele list on here. Just like I didn't want to go too crazy with Stephen King. I could have.
He didn't do The Hunt, did he?
No, The Hunt is he did Us.
Oh,
The Hunt is somebody else. I don't remember who does that.
It kind of felt like him though.
It does.
It
does. It does. If you get a chance to see The Hunt, that's also a super cool movie. So awesome. I love The Hunt.
So Candyman was also one of those it was just so intense.
That's 3 now, just so you know.
Man, yeah. Now we're dancing on the edge here.
Now you put us in a position here.
That was just one of those because it was fairly close to home too, right? I mean, that's in Cabrini Green in Chicago.
Is it? I didn't know that.
That was the original.
Really?
Yeah. Man, see now I can't even say it now.
Yeah. No, I agree. It
was in Cabrini Green in Chicago. So that was always a crazy thing. It was not too far away from. I mean, it's still hours away. But
I haven't seen. This is one that I put on our list for this year to make sure we watched again because I haven't seen it in years. And but it was just like you said though. It was when we were kids, which I think this came out in 92 or something like that. So but it was terrifying. It was it
was good.
Yeah,
I mean
absolutely.
that's a good one. All right, The Others. HBO Max.
Yeah, do you remember this one?
Oh, Candyman is also Fubo.
Oh yeah. The Mist was on Fubo and AMC.
All right. The Others,
Invisible Man was in HBO Max too.
There you go. So The Others, I've seen this advertised. I've never watched it.
Okay, so The Others is such a cool tale. It's like a I don't know, Victorian age type of movie where, oh man, what is her name? Tom Cruise's first wife.
Nicole Kidman?
Yes, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is
you go with Tom Cruise's first wife? Why wouldn't
Keith
you
Urban's
say
current wife?
Yeah, Keith Urban's wife?
Because Tom Cruise is greater than Keith Urban. Throwing that out there too.
I mean, that's a fact, but
but no, Tom Cruise. But no, this is all about her and her kids. They have a disorder, and she's trying to basically protect them from she's slowly starting to realize that there are ghosts in the house after her husband left. I can't go into it too much because I don't want to give too much of the plot away.
But a great movie,
and it's one that you should just sit down and watch it. Again, the scary movies have played off of it a lot too. Like they do a lot of parodies of it and stuff. That
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How old is this?
I would say 2003.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's older than what I would have thought.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I might be off on that, but I'd say 2003 if I'm going to guess.
Okay. The next one, Dr. Sleep. Is this the sequel?
Yeah. This is the sequel to
The Shining.
The Shining. Yeah. Sorry. So I'm not a huge fan of The Shining. That's one of the few Stephen King movies that I've never read the book. My mom, she's a huge fan of it. Kayla, huge fan of it. To me, The Shining is just.
Yeah, but is Kayla a huge fan of it because of the movie or because of the book?
That's a good question. I don't know if she's read the book though. I assume she
I
had.
just know she gonna say she's a big reader.
She's a big reader.
I would have figured that it would have been because of the book.
Yeah, but
so.
she reads a lot of. She didn't read a lot of Stephen King until we started dating. I don't think so.
Gotcha.
But anyway, I don't know if she's read it or not, but I know that it to me it just wasn't everything it could have been. Jack Nicholson, Jack Nicklaus. Wait, no, Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus is a golfer.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Golden Bear.
The Golden Bear. Yeah, I know. Anyway, Jack Nicholson, his role in there was fantastic. I mean, he is incredibly creepy. The way his slow descent into madness is awesome. But to me, whatever. Anyway, Dr. Sleep, the sequel to that one, that is a great movie. Ewan McGregor. It's got a little bit more. It's a little more on the nose type of horror where you actually have it's a good guys versus bad guys type of situation because you have a group of
Is Ewan McGregor the main character?
Yep. He plays the little boy Danny.
He's an underrated actor.
So underrated.
I mean,
The Island. You remember The Island?
oh yeah,
Scarlett
yeah.
Johansson and him in that movie.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. I'm going to watch that real soon.
It's where they were raising clones to replace parts.
Yes, absolutely.
Was the island?
Yeah, absolutely.
They did that. That was the one where they did the lottery.
Yep. You were going. Yeah,
Yeah, like if you won the lottery, you thought that you were like getting like
going to the island.
Yeah, going to the island. Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan. Remember him?
Yeah. Yeah, he was in there too.
Yeah. But this gypsies. It's basically a group of gypsies who are like soul stealing, like they steal children's souls, and to gain more power and so on and so forth. And it's all about this good versus evil. Danny and his team versus these gypsies who are I loved it.
Huh.
And I it's one of those I didn't really think I would, but it's great. It's also based off a book.
Oh, all right. I like how you tell me that. You know that I'm never going to read it, but I'm sure somebody out there,
Yeah.
they may watch
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
So.
I lied because Kayla has read Dr. Sleep, so she has definitely read.
I figured
Yeah,
so.
she definitely has.
I
yeah.
figured
Yep.
so. So, I mean, she has a poster like we have to scratch off movies
Yeah.
to read books.
Yeah. As
So,
a matter of fact,
like-
she's reading The Invisible Man right now.
Oh,
The
yeah,
original
there you
from,
go.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, with that, we are actually going to take a short intermission here, refill up our tasty beverages, and then come back here and finish up the list.
Like it.
All right. Stay tuned. And we are back, you film fans, ready to cover off on the second part of our 31 Nights of Horror Halloween special.
Yes, absolutely. We're kicking it off with Hereditary. I was going to call you out for saying you film fans. Like, you always made it derogatory. You film fans. Like, I feel like...
They can take it however they want.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying... Yeah, they're film fans. Film fans. Anyway, Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Okay, so this is where the next two are really, really weird movies. I mean, they're... this one... I really don't know how to describe it.
I mean, I like how you say like they're weird movies when we covered one where it's literally mythical creatures coming out of the fog when we're in a grocery store.
Yeah, and this one is all. This one is not that. This one is basically around, like a cult situation. The next two are actually cult.
All right.
So, I don't know how to describe this one other than it's a woman who it's a family who their mother dies, and she was like, if I remember right, she was some sort of seen as some sort of like a witch type of woman. I don't know how to describe that. I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, but she had some sort of powers or whatever was always believed, or she claimed that she did. I think that most of her family just kind of thought, whatever, She was very close with the daughter, or with her granddaughter, and afterwards her granddaughter goes through some changes, and she's becoming a little bit more odd, I guess, disjointed from the family. Like she's, whatever. Anyway, I don't know how to. I don't want to give away like the biggest, because it's really early on that this thing takes a huge, violent, shocking turn, and it's one of like just if you watch it just at that point, it's great. Like it's you can turn it off after that point, and I'd be perfectly happy because you've got to see this one just incredibly shocking part of the movie. And like in my blog, I actually said I didn't even describe it. I just described how I saw it.
Yeah,
and that's all I can do. Is just it is such a shocking moment that I can't really describe it any more than that. I'll let you watch it. You should really watch Hereditary, at least until that point. And if you don't like it, then just shut it off after that. But
Phobo again, right?
Fubo. Yeah,
Fubo.
Not the clothing back in the 90s that we used to wear. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, just a really creepy, weird movie.
Yeah, that noise. That's another one that'll just stick with you.
Okay.
Anyway.
Midsummer?
Midsummer. Okay.
Why is summer spelled weird?
Probably because it is wherever they went, which is, I don't know if I put it in my blog, but it was
Sweden.
Sweden, yeah.
Sweden.
It's probably Swedish because this is a group. Okay, so it's Florence Pugh again.
Oh,
yeah, I love Florence Pugh, and I've mentioned this movie on quite a few of our podcasts. Every time we mention Florence Pugh, I mention Midsummer, and I want you to watch this. I want everybody to watch this movie because this one is an incredible movie. Okay, so it's basically they take a class trip, not class trip, like a group of friends take a trip, like but I think it's class related or whatever.
To go spelunking?
Not spelunking.
Okay.
They're going to Sweden, and they basically go to an area where it's a literal cult, and they have all these weird like tendencies and these gods that they worship, and another one that I can't really describe too much, but everything that happens is just like one shocking moment after another, and it is so like it's in your face. It's so in your face, and it is such an incredible like twisting, turning movie. I love it. I love this movie. I get really excited to think about it. I really hope people watch this movie because it is, and it's an A24 film, and I feel like I think Hereditary was too. A24 I feel like is just, they are so on the cutting edge of finding these like really unique movies, and this is a unique movie.
All right, Midsummer, 2 thumbs up.
Midsummer, 2 thumbs up. Florence Pugh, great job.
We're probably gonna have like copyright infringements on saying 2 thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Siskel and Ebert are going to come after us.
2 index fingers up.
Or maybe just Ebert at this point in time.
It's Ebert and Roper, isn't it?
Ebert and Roper. Yeah, there you go. All right. Next. So that one's on Prime.
It's on Prime, yes.
Prime is one of those that if somebody says they don't have Prime, I'm like, wait, what?
How do you get your stuff?
Yeah.
How do you get anything?
How?
You go to Walmart?
You leave your house?
Right?
What the heck? I get coffee through the mail now.
Yeah,
like,
so
that's so weird.
Yeah, we got Kayla joined us in a coffee club. I actually got the Laughing Man coffee from Hugh Jackman too.
Right now am regretting getting into this conversation, so let's move on. Cabin in the Woods. And you specifically call out not to be confused with Cabin Fever.
Yeah, so every time I mention this movie, my wife says, "Is that the one where they like shave part of their leg off or whatever?" No, that's Cabin Fever. Which Cabin Fever is a great movie.
Cabin Fever is the one where the water's bad.
Yep, they're drinking bad water.
Yeah.
So the only person that's doing well is the guy that's just drinking beer the whole time.
Right, yeah. Cabin in the Woods that's the one, isn't it slightly like comedic?
Yeah, it's
like it's not all
it's a tongue-in-cheek film.
Yeah.
So
because isn't there something like with like the basement of the cabin, like at the very end? And
this one, I liken this one to Tucker and Dale versus the Evil.
Yeah,
because it's very tongue-in-cheek type of comedy where it's basically it's all about this group of friends that go out to a cabin in the woods, and they've got all these warning signs to say don't go out there, but they're still doing it, and then it's Chris Hemsworth too. Chris Hemsworth turns in a great role because he's the jock, and he's saying all these things that like wouldn't normally be part of him. Like he's being very misogynistic and that sort of thing. And they're like, this guy is on the dean's list. And like, why is he talking like this all of a sudden? And it's because the government is basically trying to drug them and get it's all like a plot because they have to choose to do this, but they also have to be a sacrifice for the gods, and it's so much fun. It is like
I remember you recommended this to me shortly after it came out, and this is one of those.
I'll recommend this one to anybody that will listen.
And this is one of those where I took you up on it, right? Same thing with Tucker and Dale, right? But I just remember it being a very good storyline, and it was, like I said, there was some comic.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes real heavy into the horror later on. It turns into a straight up slasher, and but it's also got a lot of comedy to it. It's great.
I like how you say this became an instant classic.
Yeah.
That would put it in the 9s.
That would put it in the 9s. I would probably put this one in the 9. I'm going to put this one at a 9 if I was going to rate it. I would
wow.
Put it
dropping a 9 spot on
9.
it.
9.
Right.
I love this movie.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, probably not first because the movie's like 20 years old, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. It wouldn't be 20 years old. Probably 10 years old.
Probably 10 years old. Yeah, something like that. We're not. It doesn't matter.
Where can we watch that one? Peacock.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is also where the new Halloween movie's out.
Another horror film too, or just horror situation is the number of streaming services that you must subscribe and pay for to watch movies nowadays.
It used to be like, it's like, oh, cool, you got satellite, you got all the channels, right? No, now it's like I got satellite and I can't watch any of the channels. Like it does me no good because everything that I want to watch is on Netflix, Hulu, Prime.
We cut the cord here, right? And so we did over the air, and now I just subscribe to streaming services. The problem is I subscribe to like 73 streaming services.
Right, because you got to have all of them. Ted Lasso? Have you watched Ted Lasso?
No,
yet?
I haven't watched any Ted Lasso.
Oh my God, Ted
and
Lasso's so good.
I'm a big fan of what's his
Jason
name?
Sudeikis or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it is, Glenn. It is so good.
Yeah, like, it's on my list.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. So back to the list here. The next one you can find on Fubo and or AMC.
Yeah.
But this one is actually kind of funny because I mentioned this to you when we talked about making this podcast, which was some movies that you may not feel are Halloween.
Yeah.
Right. But you'd still, I think they fall into that horror category or thriller. Right.
Yep.
Alien.
Yeah. So you would
like the original Alien.
I don't think most people will put it on a horror list, and the same thing with Jaws. You wouldn't put it on a horror list usually, but why not? Like the suspense in Alien is incredible. It's so dark throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's no different than those crazy creatures coming out of the mist or whatever.
No, I think Alien would definitely fit in there. This was I just watched this one not too long ago. I watched like several of the Alien movies and like some of the prequels and whatnot, and I watched them totally out of order, which is probably the worst thing to start doing. I think the first one I watched was Prometheus.
Well, that's actually the first one though.
Yeah, but it's super confusing until like you start figuring out where it's all supposed to go. But because I never did kind of get into the Alien series, and then I watched your first original Alien, and man, that thing is a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's absolutely fantastic. The way the Sigourney Weaver, I never gave Sigourney Weaver enough credit back in the day, but it's also Tom Skerritt. I had to look this up when we watched it here recently too, and I was watching it. I'm like, where do I know that guy? Why does he look? I mean, he's obviously 30 years older, but it's Tom Skerritt, it's the same guy from Top Gun and stuff. So yeah.
Well, what's funny, and I think it may just be because of the same time frame that they were making movies, but I feel like Sigourney Weaver and Jamie Lee Curtis could be the same person, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. It's just like for whatever they play in similar movies. They
were the very strong lead women back in the day that were the action star women. Basically,
yeah, like they always played in like what was it? True Lies? Wasn't that?
Lies.
Was that Jamie Lee Curtis?
I
right?
love Jamie Lee Curtis's True Lies.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like you could have put like Sigourney Weaver in there, and she would have played and rocked that role.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know. It's just those two are very.
Yeah.
It's like Gary Oldman and William H. Macy.
Oh, Jesus.
Like they're the same human.
Man, I almost swore because that you just got to stop. You got to stop that one. For God's sakes. Gary Oldman and William H. Macy. Did you have the action figures for the Alien series back? Like not the, I think it was like Aliens 3.
So I had the action figure of the actual alien.
Yeah. That's what I meant. So those were the coolest back in the day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually saw some in a toy sale here.
Well, I mean, like just their head alone is like, they're like a reverse hammerhead shark, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just kind of cool.
Super cool.
All right, so the next one is something I've never heard of, but the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah, I have no clue how I heard of this. When we originally watched it, it was on Netflix, but now it's on AMC. And again, it just says Kayla and I stumbled across this, so I don't know where we saw it, but it's great.
Brian Cox is in it.
Yep, Brian Cox and Emil Hirsch. Basically, it's a father and a son who are given an autopsy to a woman who was like murdered that night or something like that.
Not
murdered that night. They found her body that night.
Emil Hirsch. What else is he playing?
Emil Hirsch plays in The Girl Next Door. He plays. Oh man, he's in a ton of movies. But The Girl Next Door is where I know him from, where he's the main guy there.
All right.
I like Squeeze Kid.
I like Brian Cox though.
Oh yeah, Emil Hirsch. When you see him, you'll know him.
Yeah.
He's in a ton of movies, and I just can't think what they are. But he's great. He's a very good actor. Anyway, yeah, so it's basically they start, as they're going through this autopsy, they're finding more and more out about the body and stuff like that, and unlocking more and more of a tale that her body is telling you basically right now what's happened to her, and it's kind of like it's CSI, but it's going
like gory.
Yeah. So it's really original, very and I put it in here too. Why don't we have more horror movies that take place in a morgue? I mean, like, we should.
Yeah. I think though, I think there's a certain appeal to have horror movies take place in places that are closer to home, though.
Yeah.
Like, a morgue's not necessarily scary because, I don't go into morgues.
Yeah, we haven't been in a morgue since, 8th grade when we went on a field trip or whatever. Yeah.
It's scary if you put it in a house because now, I live in a house.
Yeah.
Or in a hospital because I go to a hospital.
Yeah.
Or,
Touche.
That's kind of my thought.
Touche. All right.
I kind of got defensive about that for whatever reason. I'm not too sure why.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is 3 all in a row here, which is Monster Squad, Fright Night, or The Lost Boys. Yeah, is it all of them or just any of them?
All of them. Yeah, I figure you can pick your own poison on this one. So the reason I put
these are all just vampire ones, right?
No, they're not Not all. I mean, they all have vampires, yes, but they're not exclusively vampire movies.
Okay.
If you look at Monster Squad, it's Dracula.
Sounds like it's multiple monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, it'd be called the Vampire Squad.
Have you not seen Monster Squad?
I see. These are probably some that I think I've seen.
What about Wolfman? Wolfman has.
What?
Yeah, there you go. All right, you don't know. All right.
No.
All right.
Wasn't Lost Boys with what's his name from Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah.
I remember seeing this back in the day, but that's like an 80s or 90s flick.
Yeah, it'd be these are all 80s.
Oh,
so
okay.
These would all be 80s. They're all right around the same time frame, and that's why I kind of put them together. They're a lot very similar. Fright Night's another one that's very similar. It's Evil Ed. He was a.
You got to remember though too. You're talking to a guy that grew up with 3 older sisters.
Yeah.
So it's one of those I'm watching Dirty Dancing. And
yeah,
stuff,
I know. I know you are, man. But you don't think that they watched Fright Night and the Lost Boys? You had to have seen. You've had to have seen that one, right?
No, I've seen the Lost Boys.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Wasn't there actually a redo of Lost Boys?
There was a sequel.
Or something?
To it, but it was.
No, I remember that one.
Yeah, I can't think of the. I feel terrible because I can't think of the kid's name that the two kids that played in it.
Because the Lost Boys was the one where they outlawed dancing.
Yeah, that's the one. I see what you did there.
Everybody foot loose.
Yeah, so
cut loose.
Yeah, cut loose. Yeah. But no, these the reason I couldn't put I couldn't decide on one is because Monster Squad is my favorite. It's Wolfman and Dracula and the creature from the Black Lagoon and the Mummy, and they're all teaming up against Frankenstein and this group of kids. Basically, it's these kids that have to, whatever. And then Fright Night is another one where, like I said, nobody believes him. His his neighbor is a vampire, and he's trying to get his mom to believe him or whatever, and his mom's just like, oh, he's just like a really nice guy. We're going out to dinner tonight.
Gotcha.
And
I think I've seen that.
I think you probably have. I'm sure you have. The Lost Boys is the one where he moves to a new town, and it's the Frog Brothers. It's just that's probably the best out of all three of them by far. I feel like when you throw these off there, I feel like David Letterman's going to call you and give you
another copyright
yeah,
infringement.
Exactly. The
other thing that I think of, like, for vampires, and I probably don't know everything. No, I was gonna say the Interview with the Vampire.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With Tom Cruise.
Oh, let's try and list all who is in that.
Yeah, there was actually a ton of people.
Christian
in there.
Slater,
Yep.
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Kirsten Dunst.
Could you imagine
Antonio
putting
Banderas
them all in a movie today?
Oh man,
you couldn't afford
I'd watch it. I'd watch
Yeah,
it.
you couldn't afford it though.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite actors and
Yeah.
one of my favorite actresses.
Yeah. No, I like I said, that's the one you were expecting me to say, like Twilight or something, but no,
I thought you were going to play into Twilight because I feel like Twilight's just killed the.
Yeah, Twilight. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it, but no, like Interview with the Vampire was the one that I was going to go.
That's a
with.
really great movie too. Yeah. It's much different than the vampire movies that you're typically expecting. It's not all gore and violence. It's
no, I mean, like there's a cool, like, I don't know, passionate side
Lestat.
to it. Yeah.
That was Tom Cruise's character in there, Lestat.
Is that the one, like, where they were like the one guy, like, doesn't want to kill people anymore and he's eating rats and things of that nature,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's I just thought that was like a great story. The next vampire for me is Blade, the original.
Yep. Kayla, I just watched that one not long ago too.
Yeah,
that's still a great movie.
That's like my that'd be my list right there.
Yeah. Jason Crawford, he mentioned another Stephen King book. I read the book, Salem's Lot. Apparently, that's an awesome vampire. I think it's a miniseries or whatever, but like from like the 70s or something like that. But the book was great. But I've never seen the series, and I put that on my list.
There is something fun about vampires that I don't know why the appeal is, but it's like it's one of those cult classic deals that, like, everybody finds appealing for whatever.
Yeah.
I seen on my endless scrolls of Instagram reels or TikTok ticks. I don't know what you call them. TikToks. Oh, it's just their own thing.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't have to name their. Okay, I got you. TikToks. But I seen an advertisement for fangs that you would wear. Well, I guess some people wear them anytime, but I would wear them during Halloween. Yeah. But you put them on, and like you push up on a thing with your tongue, and they come down. They're retractable fangs. They were the coolest looking things in the world.
Absolutely.
Like, if I was a kid, I would be like,
yeah,
I love that.
Exactly. We used to wear those all the time, no matter what. Like the ones that just like really, really hurt your mouth.
It's just hard plastic that wasn't even like
fitting it on.
Yeah,
it's just, and you're just drooling the whole time.
No, these are like fitted. They're retractable. At least if I was a kid, I would have wanted those. Since I'm not a kid, I ordered them. No, they were really cool though.
Yeah.
So
no, but the problem is now, you say that, but I don't think that people have the fascination with vampires anymore, and I blame Twilight. So I feel like Twilight killed the whole genre.
Man.
You know, they made vampires sparkly instead of creatures of the night type of thing. When I was reading Salem's Lot, I read Kayla passage. Sometimes I like to read like some of the things that Stephen King says or whatever. It's like just the way he puts it. I want to share it with somebody. So she's like, "Are you reading a vampire book?" I'm like, "Yeah, the bloodthirsty monsters, the creatures of the night, not Edward Cullen, Kayla."
But in reality, you've read the Twilight books.
I read the first 2 books. Yes.
Enough said. Back to the story, people.
Yeah. Anyway,
It Follows.
It Follows. Do you know anything about this movie?
No, but I am so happy I just threw you under the bus on that. It Follows. You can watch it on Fubo.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay. So I say this, and it's like my first line here is, okay, what's the wildest storyline for a horror movie you've ever seen that is actually good? And this is the one, because this is a ghost, and it is there's no comedy in this at all. This is not a joke.
Okay.
It Follows. This is a movie about a sexually transmitted ghost or demon, whatever it is. I know that's what it sounds like, right? But it is. It's basically something where it's conceived that way, and it basically you have to pass it on to someone else, or it's going to kill you.
Right.
And it basically it's this demon that can be seen in any. It can be somebody you know. It can be somebody that you don't know or whatever. But it can be anybody in the world and disguise itself as that. But the key is it is always walking towards you. Walking. So like if you flew to California, it's going to take a long time to get there, but it's going to get there. And it's just going to keep walking. And you may have bought yourself 6 months, but in 6 months, all of a sudden you're going to see somebody walking behind you. And it's like that person doesn't quite match up to, doesn't seem right. And it is haunting. It is so cool. And it is a very serious movie, but it sounds like it's a joke. Okay. And like let's say if it kills the person that doesn't pass it on, if it kills that person, it goes back to the previous person. So you got to really hope that somebody spreads this all the way down the line to give yourself some breathing room.
We'd call that a STG.
Yeah.
STG.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Oh.
I would say STD because it's still a demon.
Oh,
I'd say it's more of a demon than a ghost.
Demon.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a weird one. So
yeah, it's
might
great,
have
but
to
it's
look that up.
Did
I see? I just threw my paper, but did it say Brittany Murphy on there too?
Oh no, that was just me saying that the woman in it. She reminded me so much. Like every time as I watched it, I'm like, man, she looks like Brittany Murphy there, just like the main character. Or I think also at one point it was Brie Larson, but she's got a look about her that.
Gotcha. All right, so the next one, another intruder movie on Netflix, and it's called Hush. Hush.
Yep, simple plot here. Intruder movie where they're basically it's the woman involved is deaf and mute.
Okay.
So like she's trying to hide, but she can't hear or scream for help or anything. So it's kind of a cool a different take on that where I think that whenever you limit some of your senses, have you seen the movie Don't Breathe?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Don't Breathe I think is a great movie where the guy is blind and he's trying to kill you, but like anytime you limit some of your senses, I feel like it adds to the horror.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Taking away a sense is I mean that's an anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like if you think about losing a sense, I mean, there's a lot of people that have had to endure that and go through that. But I do think that drives that whole anxiety piece there, right?
Yes.
So I think anytime that a movie incorporates that aspect of it, well, sure, I mean that heightens the anxiety of watching that.
Yep, absolutely. That's an easy one. I think that's on Netflix. That's an easy one to attain too. And if you're wanting just a really good thriller flick, go watch Hush. That's a lot of these are going to be kind of harder watches because they're either violent or they're really twisting and turning. That's just a nice good intruder movie.
Yeah. Just a good one.
It's an easy watch, I guess I should say.
We probably should start off because we typically are, like very, we're family friendly typically.
Yeah.
But a lot of these movies are definitely not family friendly on this list. So
I'm not going to say that. Like,
check the ratings.
However, my mom would have let me watch most of these when I was a kid. So
yeah, probably not a whole.
I watched
list.
Hellraiser when I was a kid. My mom let me watch Hellraiser.
Isn't that the one like with the pins?
Yeah, Pinhead.
Yeah. All right, next one up. I remember watching this, and this was just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum in The Fly.
Right. Well, first off, I feel like you could just lay it out at that, and that's good enough. Jeff Goldblum playing The Fly, like that.
Yeah. What was so? I can't remember.
It's been a long time since I've seen it too. So
he was trying to teleport, right?
Yes, he was trying to teleport, and he had the two cocoon type of things, and he was trying to teleport himself from one to another. I think he teleported a plant. And then he teleported like the dog or a cat or something like that. And
then he went to teleport himself, but a fly got in there.
Yes.
And it mixes the DNA.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's slowly turning into this fly. And it is awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah, I remember that being a creepy one growing up.
I think it was Kirstie Alley is the lead in there, and she does a great job too.
Yeah. All right, next one. Bird Box.
Bird Box. Everybody's seen Bird Box. I think.
Netflix.
Yeah. But I feel like if you haven't seen Bird Box, I feel like it's a good one to watch. Like, again, it's a pretty easy to attain. It's a pretty easy watch. It's a good movie. Like, it got a bad rap there where everybody was kind of giving it hell, but again, it's a good movie.
I disliked the part. So I enjoyed like the movie and watching it. I'm not gonna like write home about it. I didn't think it was anything too crazy, but the part that I hated the most, it's like if you see whatever you see, even through like a video camera, then you still are going crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like there's some of that where it's like you want to talk about taking away senses, like you literally just want to take that away.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah. No matter what. Like there was no getting around that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, that's the only part that I probably found a little bit frustrating was it's like, it was just a hard cut of, like, you can't see this thing. You can't see a picture of it.
Yep. I think, I get that. I think that the biggest problem that I felt that most people complained about was the fact that you never got to see the creature. What
I'm
you never
okay with that, though.
Yeah, so am I. That's
I'm okay with that.
I like to leave that to the imagination and let you draw your own conclusion on what that is. So I'm fine with it. I thought it was a good movie, very solid.
I mean, Sandra Bullock.
Yep.
That's good enough reason.
Yep, and I'm not going to rant and rave if you don't like it. It is what it is. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's an easy watch.
Yep, exactly.
30 Days of Night.
30 Days of Night. Have you seen this one?
This is the one where they're in Alaska.
Yeah.
Who's the one that plays this? He was like
I got the main familiar there is Ben Foster. He's the guy that I.
He's like the main.
Creepy.
Yeah, but the main guy is the same guy for like Pearl Harbor or something.
Yes,
right?
it is. It is. I keep wanting to say Ashton Kutcher, but it is not.
Nope.
Is
it's the other guy that looks like Ashton
40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah,
we are all over this one.
Yeah.
We got to put it up here.
There he is.
Yeah.
That guy.
I want to say, is it Daniel something?
Nope.
No.
That's not right either.
Okay.
Nah, we'll look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has that guy in it.
Okay.
And that was kind of cool because like so there's a city or actually anything above the Arctic Circle. Actually,
I don't know.
I think that's where this technically ends at. I think if you're above the Arctic Circle, there's 1 month out of the year where it never goes dark.
Yeah.
And then there's also 1 month out of the year where it never gets light.
Yeah. Never gets dark. Yeah.
Well, no, there's 1 month where it's always light, and there's 1 month where it's always dark.
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
know.
I've heard that it's really. I heard that that's really a cool time. Like if you go up there during that month where it's always light, because like you can go.
Yeah,
golf.
you can go golf at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. We must have seen the same advertisement.
Yeah, but I remember like somebody said though it really messes you up because like you don't know when to go to sleep or when to get tired.
Yeah, that's the Al Pacino movie about that where they.
Insomnia.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's called Insomnia. It's where Al Pacino was like
I think he's trying to solve a murder or something like that.
Yeah, he was. He was yes, but this one's great.
Vampires, the way vampires are supposed to be.
A vampire one.
Yes.
We kind of left this one out. It's on the list here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was awesome because like what town is a better town for vampires to thrive than a town that is dark 24/7 for 30 days?
Yep, exactly. Yep, and that's
awesome.
And it's just one of those where what else are you going to do? They're there. You can't get away. There's no help. You're in Alaska. It's like The vampires are terrifying.
They are
terrifying vampires.
Ben Foster is underrated too.
He's my favorite B-list actor, and I don't know if I should call him a B-list actor. He's not an A-lister though, but Ben he is so great in 3:10 to Yuma. He's great.
Yeah,
he's great in this movie. He just plays such a good creepy guy. Like just got the way he talks. I really like him a lot.
All right, Amityville Horror.
Okay, so Amityville Horror.
I've seen the new one of this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually going to go with. I'm going to go with the new one because, I mean, the one in the 70s was great, and I remember that was a big deal. But I actually really like the one from probably about 2005 or so, something like that. I really like it. Ryan Reynolds, and he plays he's usually the fun-loving, happy guy that everybody loves. We talked about how cool he is and all that stuff, and now this is him just being a jerk and just this horrible father figure where he's I don't know. Was
he a writer or something? Or
I don't think so. He's a construction worker is what he is.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's just slowly just having a descent into madness again, like much like The Shining and whatnot. But he's it's the house is driving him to this point. It's awesome. I think there's a lot of it's really scary. There's a lot of really points in there that is just absolutely horrifying and great movie.
All right, Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, zombie movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is. I want to pause for a minute on Dawn of the Dead. So Dawn of the Dead is the zombie film in the mall, right?
yes,
That to me is one of the greatest zombie films that's like been made.
yeah,
I love, and I love this on multiple reasons. I love it because I thought the mall was a fantastic spot to like host this because you have so many different things in a mall, right? You got sporting goods and you got clothing and food and everything else, right? But it also allowed a great platform for video games to be made off of as well.
yeah. It really did. What was that game? Left 4 Dead, right?
No, not Left 4 Dead. That's not it. Dead Rising.
Oh, okay.
Dead Rising, I think it was like Dead Rising like 2 or something,
Yeah.
that was like based off of this movie, and it was just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it
like
really
it
is.
actually made me love the movie even more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think Dawn of the Dead, great watch. I love the storyline. I love the interaction between all the characters.
The building to the building where they're saying there's people alive. You know, they're holding up to the guy at the gun store.
The gun store, yep.
And he's shooting out, Rosie O'Donnell or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought that movie was absolutely wonderful. A great zombie film that had just enough crazy and horror, a little bit of comedy. Like it just has a little bit of everything that somebody would want.
I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I'm going to tell you exactly why you like it. Okay? It was directed by Zack Snyder.
Okay, well, that's
and written by James Gunn.
Well, there you go, folks. That pretty much sums up why I love that. So.
Right? I mean, it's a perfect combination. So
yeah.
It naturally is going to be an awesome movie. And you're right. It just delivered on all platforms.
It just hit everything, you know?
Yep. And it was a great place to just get sealed off in that in that mall, but you still knew that things were brewing. That wasn't going to last forever. And next thing you know, it's...
Well, and it also doesn't necessarily... I think what ends up... A lot of people try to do on like zombie films, you take like World War Z, or you take even like... I Am Legend and things of that nature, right? They try putting like this worldly spin on it, right?
Yeah.
But Dawn of the Dead isn't a worldly spin on it.
No.
It's like, I don't know, I went shopping and some stuff broke out.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm stuck in a mall.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit more real.
Yeah. Yep. Very, very down home style.
Zack Snyder directed that?
Yeah.
What's the zombie film that he just came out with that you and I just watched?
I don't know, but I mentioned it on there.
No, we just talked about
it.
Yeah,
we did. With the
they go into Vegas.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was, but it just...
That's hilarious. So yeah. I didn't put two and two together. So Snyder must have a thing for zombies then.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of cool. That's fun. All right, that is a must watch. That
if you haven't seen that one, you gotta see it.
It is definitely at least a must see.
Yep, and it's an easy watch too. It's on Fubo, but it's one. I go buy that one. Watch it.
That is such a fun movie. All right, next one I've never heard of. Gerald's Game on
Gerald's
Netflix.
Game, another Stephen King one. I just put this one on here because it's a Netflix one that probably not a lot of people have seen. I really liked it. Okay, so basically it is a man and a woman who go to another vacation home or whatever, a getaway out in the country, and he ties her to the bed, and then next thing you know,
she has a ghost.
He dies. No, it didn't work that way. He has a heart attack. So now she is chained to a bed in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, and she's stuck on this bed then.
Yes, with the doors open out in the country type of thing.
Oh.
So it's just like she can't do anything. It's like, yeah.
Okay, now I'm starting to get the creeps. So
yeah, exactly. And I have not read the book.
This sounds like a very high anxiety film.
That's exactly what it is. This is an anxiety film,
not necessarily a horror film.
It becomes horror because Stephen King isn't the kind of guy that's going to let it just be that type of story. It's going to build into something else, and there is more to the story after after there's always layers to it. So it's a very, I really liked it a lot. I thought it was a very, very good film. Very
Stephen
original.
King also did, he did The Shining too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And did he also do Cujo?
He did Cujo.
He did The Clown. What's
It.
the clown one?
It.
Yeah.
You did, Carrie.
Yeah. Cujo would be like one that you could almost throw on this list.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, why were you scared of Rottweilers growing up?
Yeah, exactly.
Was
it wasn't a Rottweiler?
No,
it was a Saint Bernard.
No, it was that's right. It was Saint Bernard. Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't scared of Saint Bernards.
Yeah.
Take that back. I'll edit that out.
Well, we also had that the Beethoven movies.
Yeah, Beethoven. There you go. That brought us back. Yeah. That brought us back. I just remember it was a big dog. Yeah. You're right. It's we just watched that not too long ago.
Yeah. So another movie that Stephen King did that not a lot of people know about is was written. The book was called The Body. The movie Stand By Me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not a horror movie at all, but that's Stephen King wrote.
Honestly, that's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Devin absolutely loves that movie.
Does he?
Yeah, Stand By Me. Yeah, that's a
greatest movie of all time.
Shawshank Redemption.
Stephen King.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We can go on and on.
Yeah.
App Pupil. That's another good one that I really like. Yeah. So anyway.
Did you do The Green Mile?
He did The Green Mile.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking of like Tom Hanks, and I'm like, wait a second. I think he had one because I was thinking Tom Hanks could have played in Shawshank Redemption, right?
Yeah, he could have. Yeah,
like
he could have been Andy Dufresne.
He definitely could have been Andy Dufresne.
Yeah,
I think what's his name? Tim.
Oh, Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. Oh man. All right, next one on the list. This was an interesting one. I can't remember where this came out at. You have it where it's on Hoopla.
Yeah.
But this came out on a couple years ago, but it was Bone Tomahawk.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a kind of a gruesome film.
Wildly gruesome film. Yeah. It is very
Kurt Russell back
again.
in a Western again.
Yep.
Right?
And the Doc from Lost, I can't remember what his name is, but they play in this movie. And so it's on Hoopla. At the time, it was in Prime when we watched it, and it is a violent movie. Like, it is one of those, like, just, it's called Bone Tomahawk for a reason.
Yeah.
So, but it's basically it's Kurt Russell trying to save a doctor's life who's been kidnapped. I think it's a doctor who's been kidnapped, and they have to go to these like native people, but they're not. They're like cannibals at the highest level, like super, super.
It's like a demonic side of this.
Yes,
too.
Absolutely.
This was a really fun watch, though.
Oh, so
I enjoyed this.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I've seen this. There was a couple scenes in there that were, wow, like incredibly gruesome.
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna go Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. That's Leo.
Yes.
Yeah, this was fun. I'm trying to remember which one this is.
He's the detective.
He's the detective, which is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the detective.
Yeah, he's the detective.
Because this came out like either right before or right after Inception.
Yep, I think it's
like
right.
they were.
I think it's right after. Yeah, but regardless, it's about the same time.
Yeah,
and it's very. This is a great watch.
This is almost like what's interesting about this movie. It reminds me more of like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, right?
Yeah.
Because of how much they try to twist this movie.
Yeah, I almost tried to put a M. Night Shyamalan movie in here, The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably could have.
Yeah, I almost feel like The Village is probably scarier than what The Sixth Sense is. But no. There's just something about those kind of creepy monsters until like you know, until you get to the end. But
but
no, Shutter Island. I thought that
the Village is scarier than all of them. The Village is, or not the Village. Sorry, Signs is the scariest M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, Signs, yeah.
Signs is one, because that is a real life type of horror movie.
Yeah.
Where like you could see that happening. You can feel like the way
Aliens too.
Yeah, the
right?
way Joaquin Phoenix is stuck on watching the TV all the time, and it is awesome.
Is that Mel Gibson?
Absolutely, it's Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So back to Shutter Island. Yeah. Netflix or on AMC. But this was a great movie. It's got Leo in it. It's going to throw you some curveballs.
Mark Ruffalo too.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo's the other detective.
It's always like the fun part about going through these, and then it's like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
But this was a great movie. It's one of those where I feel like you don't get it until the end.
Yep, exactly. You have no clue.
You know?
And it's like, oh, how did I miss that?
Yeah, there's like some things that you should just know.
Yep.
But it's also, this would be very similar. It's man versus self.
Yeah.
But back to that again of him,
absolutely,
him being crazy. So
yep.
All right, so the next one, Pan's Labyrinth. This is like an old movie, right?
It is. This is what's his
like
name?
Like an 80s or something, right?
No, it's not 80s. This is like probably early 2000s, something like that.
Oh, for some reason I thought this was like way old.
Guillermo,
like us.
Yeah. Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this is one I still haven't seen. This one. This is one that's on my list because I want to see it. I put it on my list this year. We're gonna watch it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it is one of the most highly regarded movies.
Is it subtitled?
It's subtitled. That's one of the reasons that it's been tough for me to get to.
Guillermo del Toro, I would imagine it's in Spanish?
Yes, it is in Spanish.
Yeah. I like how you put on your blog, I've watched subtitled films like The Three Idiots and Parasite, and they were fantastic.
Yeah.
2 great call-outs right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I got another one that's coming up here later on, too.
Three Idiots, I would go on record, and I've probably talked about this too much on this podcast, but The Three Idiots, instant classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's in a 9.
Yeah.
So just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, got it.
All right, next one, Drag Me to Hell on Fubo and Showtime.
Another one. This is one that I have not seen as well. Have you seen it?
I don't believe I have. No.
No. Okay, so this is another one. It sounds like that's exactly literally what it is. It's basically a character that stops by a house, or she's house sitting or something like that, and I don't know exactly how it all works, but it's supposed to be an incredible movie. It's got a 6.5 on IMDb, and I watched part of it, and it's like, and when I started watching, I'm like, this is awesome, and then I had to shut it off for some reason. I don't remember what it was, and then next thing you know, it's like, well, now I don't remember how it started, and so it's back on my list. I'm gonna watch that one. Let you know how it is.
Next one, I actually have not seen the 2 of them. 2 out of the we're down to 3 here, folks.
Have you seen any of these 3?
This is going to be, by the way, our longest podcast ever.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We're not even done yet.
Yeah. Well, we only got 3 left.
All right. We're an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Well, actually, by the time I edit it, we're probably about an hour right now.
Yeah.
So,
Marvel was longer.
So this last one, or this next one, Hulu, AMC, or Hoopla, Let the Right One In.
Okay. So this is a vampire movie. Okay?
Another vampire.
So this is a vampire movie, but it's kids.
Oh, okay.
It's this little girl who is basically her familiar, her human bodyguard or whatever, is this old man, and he has to go out and murder people to bring back for her
to feed her.
Yes, and she's like I don't know how to judge ages or not, but like she's just 8 years old or so, so probably around Devin's age. But no, she's about 8 years old, and this little boy, like her neighbor, because they're like in an apartment complex. This little boy starts to befriend her, and this is I think this is in Denmark, is where this one's from.
Subtitled?
This is subtitled too. And it's kind of like it's a love story about these. It's a very complex story, very cool. It's a love story between 2 kids, but one of them is going to be. Is a vampire, and
one of them is not.
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of a cool.
All right.
This is what.
And you probably get some like weird.
This is what Twilight should have been.
Yeah, and you also probably get some like the kids aren't fully developed, so like there's probably like some of like that kid think, and like in between them, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's trying to figure out why this is, and why the way things are, why she does things the way she does, and. Like very Babe in the Woods type
kids
stuff.
Trying to figure something out is different than 2 adults trying to figure it out.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, there's something...
He's not entirely scared of the fact that she's a vampire because, it's like, well...
Because he hasn't watched
the
Twilight series
He never watched The Lost Boys. The next one is one that I haven't seen since I was a kid.
So the next one, I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to talk about this one. I don't want to talk about anything that deals with this. Like,
really?
These are the ones that bother me.
Why?
I can watch every movie that we've talked about until we get to these.
Really?
Yeah. These are the ones that I cannot watch.
Just like all of them? All of them?
Just any of them.
Okay.
The Exorcist is what we're talking about.
Okay.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yeah.
All of these things will make it that I will not sleep.
Yeah. I agree. For some reason, why are they terrified?
Because here's
a girl.
No, but here's the thing. I'm going to explain exactly why it's scary. Vampires and monsters and demons, no, this is demons, but like monster stuff, all that kind of stuff, I can deal with, right? Thrillers and bad guys like Freddie or things of that nature, I can deal with, right? But when you start dealing in the realm of religion and God and the devil, it just gets too real for me.
Okay.
Like there's just something there that it's just there gets to be a creep factor that it's like I can't handle.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
I agree. I think that like the Emily Rose one is a great call out too, because that's actually,
I couldn't sleep for like a week after I watched that movie.
My cousin Erica, she mentioned the Exorcism of Emily Rose, and you're right. It's a wildly underrated a horror movie too, because it's a lot like this one, just a modern version of it. And the thing is, like I said, I haven't seen this since I was a kid, and I don't remember it being that terrifying. But everybody that I talk to is absolutely.
I keep going back though. Religion is not that we're not going to sit here and talk about religion on our podcast, but religion is a big part of a lot of people's lives, right? And I just think that is one of those that it's like, I just don't want to mess with that, man.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I get it.
I don't know, freaks me out.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the most classic horror movies of all time. I think it's publicly rated as like the #1 horror movie of all time. If you most lists, most horror purists are going to have that as the #1.
Yeah.
So it's on my list. I got to get to it this year too. We've been working down our list.
Yeah, that one scares me.
Yeah.
So, so the last one I've never even heard of.
Okay.
But it's called The Train to Busan.
Train to Busan.
Busan.
So this is probably the best zombie movie.
Like, are you saying ever?
Ever.
Hold on, are we stamping that?
I'm gonna stamp it.
Wow.
It's good. It's because I really like zombie movies. I like 28 Days, 28 Days Later, or 28 Days Later. Not 28 Days. 28 Days is the Sandra Bullock.
28 Days later, 28 weeks later.
Yeah. Those are great. The Dawn of the Dead and all those, even the George Romero stuff. But this movie was awesome. I mean, it was like I was having it was fun.
Better than Zombieland? Ooh. I mean, we're going zombies here.
Ooh.
I mean, I hate putting you on the spot.
You're putting me on the spot, yeah. I think that...
But I'm going to put you on the spot.
I think that if you go by, like, rewatchability, definitely not. Definitely not. Because for me, this is subtitled, too, so you got to rewatch...
Three Idiots I've seen multiple times.
I know, but like I said, I will watch this multiple times.
I'm just saying, subtitles does not necessarily determine rewatchability.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like Zombieland, I could watch that right now 3 times in a row and not...
Zombieland you can also catch at any given time throughout that movie and watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I think the cinematography in this one's better. The actual story is better. It's a really cool, really great movie, but Zombieland is really special. So you put me on the spot. That's a tough one. Yeah, so anyway.
We'll put an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, exactly. So Train to Busan, it's a Korean film, and it's basically just a zombie outbreak. Typical story. Zombie outbreak is happening, and as they do, it's a father and son. Not father and son, father and daughter, and they are kind of having their they've been off. Their relationship has been off. She hasn't wanted to be around. She wanted to go to her mother. That's all that's where they're going. Is they're going to her mother because her dad is a workaholic.
But the zombie thing happens when she's with her father.
Correct.
So now she has to survive with her father.
And now he has to learn to be not a selfish man. Has to put not even just her, but like him, like put himself above everybody else, and not it's.
So there's
cool.
times when the zombies are taking over that he thinks of himself and leaves his daughter somewhere, and then has to come back.
Not so much his daughter, but like he's more than willing to like shut the doors on somebody else.
The rest of the people.
Yeah. No, that's their problem, not mine. You know, like that sort of thing. And the way his daughter looks at him at that, she's disgusted. And so that plays into it. And it's not just that. It starts off early and it's it's so great. I love the way the zombies run. I love the way it's a great movie. Great movie. You should really watch this one.
Yeah, I Am Legend actually is another one where I would say zombie movement. I probably enjoyed a lot in that movie.
I just didn't like the CGI of the zombies in there. I felt like they were so obviously CGI'd.
I just mean I liked you had some stronger ones versus I don't know. They kind of played off that.
Yeah.
That I liked.
Well,
so.
there was more to
They're
those
not
zombies.
like true zombies though either.
No, they were almost vampires. I think in the book they're actually vampires.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
All right, so
because they can't go out in the sunlight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is true. All right, so we have just went through 31 movies and a few extras.
Yeah.
What I ask is, I would say, what's your list? What's your list? What do we leave off? What did we forget? Because I can think of a few that aren't on here, right? So. A couple on top of my mind that I would actually like to talk about. We didn't mention any of the Saws, right?
Yeah.
In that same sense, Hostel, right, is another one that was
Hostel's
like.
So here's the thing.
I know it's horribly and it's gross, but I mean it's like
my
a
opening
terror, right?
sequence was saying that I'm not going to talk about the ones that you don't like me to say that phrase, but it's the torture movies that are just like Hostel. I hated Hostel. I hate The Hills Have Eyes. I won't watch The Hills
Have Eyes is another one that I was actually going to bring up because that has a scene in there that I can't even
you can't watch
remotely
watch. I can't stand it because they just worry too. They try too much to just be. They're not like they're just in your face about the things you don't like about life. Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah. And so I just don't like it. A couple more that I feel like that my cousin brought up, and I meant to mention my opening. Erica again. I said The Grudge. I don't like The Grudge.
I was going to say The Ring.
So The Grudge, I say I didn't like because I felt like I spent too much time being weird and not enough time being good. And it just does too many jump scares, and it just doesn't. To me, it's just not a good movie.
Yeah.
But The Ring is one that I always looped in that category, probably because they came out around at the same time, and you did too because you just mentioned it right after I mentioned that one.
Yeah.
But like she said, she's like that one is actually just a really good movie.
No, I think The Ring should be on your list.
The Ring probably should, and I told her that I'm like I apologize. I should take that back. I'm going to go watch The Ring again because that was a really good.
I'm going to make a quick argument on why The Ring should be on your list.
Okay.
Not only because it's a good movie, right? Mm-hmm. But it also set the tone of a genre that we started getting a lot of other movies from, right? Like, I want to say it was, I think it comes from Japan. I think it's more Japanese horror, right? And so when we got The Ring, that's when we started getting The Grudge, and we started getting all of this more Japanese style horror.
Yep.
So I think it was just the opening to that. And so you kind of almost have to nod your hat.
But you're right though. The Ring was a really good movie. I think it's The Grudge really burned me on it because I just didn't like The Grudge, and I think that I felt like it just went down that hole there, and not the ring hole, but like
the well.
Yeah, the
well that she crawled down. Yeah. No, so but again, we probably missed a few. I know you threw a couple weird ones on. There's some that you haven't even watched yet.
Yep, exactly.
And so you're going off
a list, though, is you want to add stuff that you've never watched too.
Yeah. And hey, we look at ratings a lot, and we try to figure all this stuff out. So, and hey, we're not experts either. So, but hey, we hope
there's a couple guys who like movies like to talk about movies.
That's exactly right. Hey, we hope that you guys y'all enjoyed this. If you're still here, I want to say thank you. If you like this, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified each and every time that we put out crazy long videos like this. And we're going to continue to do this because, hey, we love it.
Yeah, and also tell me what the first movie you're going to watch off this list is because I'd like to know that too.
And give us some recommendations on what you'd like to hear in the future on what you'd like us to talk about. So we talked about horror movies today. If you want us to talk about baseball movies or football movies or I don't know why I went 2 sports back to back, but any kind of movies you want to hear us talk about, let us know, and we will be happy to cover them.
We need to make this an annual one. We need to do a Halloween one next year.
Absolutely.
Kick it off a little sooner and get another Halloween special.
There we go. And hey, and with that, the credits are rolling.
The lights are coming on.
And that's the end of the show.